We're back. Yup, you know who it is. It's that time of the day. It's the Impact Show time. And I'm so pumped up. Based by your popular demand, I've got the one and only Julie Wilcox back in the house today. Y'all were flooding me with the inbox. Julie, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Man, it was lighting up like a Christmas tree. My DMs, the emails, the text messages were like, we want Julie back. So, based on your feedback, we've got Julie back. It's great to have you in studio, Jules.
Well, I love it. I like the new digs, actually. You know what? The lights. I'm getting used to the lights, camera, and action.
We call that JuJu.
Ooh.
That's called the JuJu.
The
We all
JuJu.
need a little more JuJu in our life, right? Get that mojo, get the energy going. And last time we connected, you talked about a quote, and today you share with me you want to bring up another quote and ask some questions. So I said, sure, on these shorter, more fun episodes that we have here on Thursdays, what do we got going on?
Yeah, so, this one's a little bit different. So I'm going to start off with the quote, but really, this is a deep one. So
You're going to get deep on me again.
I am going to get deep on you again. I am, because the world needs better people. It needs more. It needs more TD, more JuJu. So the quote I have
Taking
today,
it over, baby. She's taking it over. Preach it, sister.
That's right. So the quote I have today is Matshona Dhliwayo. And I loved this one. I've really been, looking up and reading a lot of quotes lately, but this one kind of stuck to me too. It's care twice as much as others, help twice as much as others, give twice as much as others, and love twice as much as others. So I kind of like that. Kind of got me flowing, got me going.
It's deep.
Yeah, and then I've got some questions to kind of help mold that so that we can hear a little bit from you and what that means for you. So the first question is, what is the best tip on making the world a better place?
Ooh, deep. Well, that's a good quote because that's a lot of wisdom right there. But to make the world a better place, the Impact Show makes the world a better place. I can tell you that right now.
Of course it does.
Right? It would be care more. It would be care more. And in that quote, care twice as much as others, when I say care more, it sounds so rhetorical, like care more, but I guess it's the empathy. It's when you are in conversation with someone. How do we slow down enough to care more about what's going on? It's been one heck of a year plus of everything with the pandemic. People are tired. People are grouchy. People got attitudes. It's like, what can we do to make the world a better place is to truly care more, ask how you are doing, how someone else is doing, and then care more to serve more so that when you serve more, the reciprocal law of love is that's going to come back and you're going to feel that energy and that positivity. So pretty straightforward. Make the world a better place. Care more.
I love that.
And listen to the Impact Show, of course.
Of course. But I love that. Next one. What book best describes your life?
Loving these questions, by the way. Keep the questions coming. Not just Julie, but all of you who are asking these questions.
Send them in.
These are good. Best book describes the life you lead. Man, I do read a lot, and it's the latest one I've read is Who, Not How, and I'm loving that book, Who, Not How. So I'd say, but as far as the life I lead, Pastor Jeremiah, who's a client of mine, I've talked about him 1,000 times. He wrote a book in the middle of the pandemic called Forward. And I would say that's the book that probably best describes the life that I lead right now, because so much of my life right now is looking forward. I am being driven by vision. I'm not being driven by the last 21 years of my life at Fitness Quest 10 and things, some of the professional things I've created and achieved. It's really about looking forward. And Dr. J, I call him, Pastor Jeremiah, and I talk about how that windshield is 10 times bigger than the rearview mirror, and not looking in the rearview mirror, because it'd be easy for any one of us listening in today to think about some of the success that we've had and we rest on our own laurels, but how do we truly look ahead? How do we look forward on that? So I'd say the book Forward by Dr. Jeremiah would be one, the life that I lead. And as you know, Julie, I've written 3 books. I believe any time that you write a book or someone writes a book, those books are your brain being dumped onto paper on that. The Impact Body Plan 2010, at that time of my life, was the life I was leading. And guess what? It still is. That book is as universal today in 2021 as it was in 2010. The WOW book is all about creating wow experiences and moments in your life. If there's one thing I'd say, and I've been speaking this to the mastermind a lot, is you got to create experiences in your life, personally and professionally. Personally, how do you create more wow moments in your life? Vacation times away, time with your family, and professionally, wow experiences and moments for your clients, for your members, or whatever you do for your business is creating that. And obviously, get your mind right. My book that came out last year, the reason I say a book that describes the life you lead is because the life I lead, guys, every day, just so you know, I got to get my mind right. Yeah, I do. I don't wake up and I'm like, oh, great, 5 a.m. I'm so excited to jump out of this warm, comfy bed. By the way, I recently got a new bed and I love it. It's like the most comfortable thing. I hadn't had a new bed in 20-something years. This bed's comfortable. So it's like, part of it is you got to get up, you got to get moving, you got to get your mind right. And what I put in that book is that's the life I lead. It's like, you got to break outside your comfort zone. And that sometimes starts at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, depending on when you get up, and getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And y'all have heard that, but these are the things I put in that book. So Forward by Dr. Jeremiah would be the book that I say outside of myself is the life I lead. But obviously the books I write that's how I'm living my life. And I put it down on paper as well. So good question on the books that describe life.
Yeah, I like those a lot. Yeah. So recently we've just kind of redone the roots up here. We've got the new TDE headquarters. We're sitting right here right now in Todd's new office, loving it. And I wanna know, because it's been a little bit longer than you thought. There's lots going on. You came off your knee surgery, and here we are in expansion mode. But what lessons did you learn during the expansion of the new headquarters?
Well, you can create and manifest anything that you set your mind to. Because where I sit right now used to be the blue room and the green room and massage room where I started my business 21 years ago. And I did a lot of body work, a lot of massage, a lot of rolfing and structural work right here, literally
Lots
where I'm
of
recording
energy.
this podcast. Yeah. That's why it is in this space. So let's not forget where we all come from on that. But, back in late 2020 when the vision was to change the energy at Fitness Quest 10 lower facility upstairs in the Roots, change some things around where I was going to be spending more of my time in the upcoming months and years ahead with the new HQ. A couple of the lessons. Number one, everything always takes longer than you want it to take.
And costs more.
Right? I thought it was going to take about 4 weeks to get this done. It took about 90 days. January, February, March, we're finally here in April as we record this, and it's pretty close to darn done. So that would be a huge lesson. The other one I'd say is a lesson learned from this is how important environment is to thrive. Like, your environment is crucial. And I felt like a lost sheep in a lot of ways the last 90 days. Like, I didn't have an office for the most part. I was podcasting from my home office, which is cool, but I didn't have my go-to creative space where I could think. And then even in this space, everything, if you're watching this on YouTube, watching this on video, this podcast, I've got a whiteboard, a 10-foot whiteboard here to my left that I literally had customized done so I could whiteboard and put up my thoughts and dreams on the whiteboard and see it, and all the equipment that it takes to do this podcast. I got with my man Baby Z, I call him Baby Z, Zach, and said I want the best stuff so that we could have the best experience so that all of our Mind Right Maniacs could literally hear the fire coming through the airwaves. So if you're liking it, give us a little thumbs up right now. But environment, guess what, is created. Environment's created. It just doesn't happen. So whether you put a new fresh coat of paint on your studio, your gym, your bedroom, you get a new bedroom, whatever it is, you create the environment that you want to do your world-class work in, so you could be the BIW, best in the world at what you do with that. And then lastly, I'd say another lesson that I learned or was reminded of me is everyone needs a rhythm in life, a rhythm. 2020, the pandemic, threw a lot of people off with their rhythm. Matter of fact, some people, including myself, are establishing a new rhythm of life, right? Can I get an amen on that? Anyone? Can I get an amen? You're trying to get a new rhythm to life. Part of the reason why the new HQ, hence the question, Julie, and for all you listening in, is like some of the lessons learned is we all need a rhythm. How do we establish a new rhythm? Right? And that new rhythm could be what time you go to sleep, what time you wake up, the environment that you train in, where you're training, who you're training with, what you're reading, what you're listening to, whatever the new rhythm is, a biorhythm, because rhythms affect energy. Energy affects mindset. Mindset affects actions in all that we do. So life is about a rhythm. And when life gets disrupted and out of a rhythm, then you have to make sure that you change that biorhythm by training, by what you eat, and other things that you can do, whether it be from a medical standpoint to make sure you're physically and mentally as strong as you need to be, emotionally, or even spiritually. A rhythm to make sure that you are in sync on your body, mind, and soul. So to me, those are some of the lessons during the expansion of the TDE headquarters. And I'll say the last 90 plus days, but man, it's taken a lot longer than I wanted to. And as you alluded to, more money, but I do believe it's going to pay off. How important environment is, and how rhythm is important as well with everything we do, regardless of what you do for a living, where you train, how you train, everything's about a rhythm, and we got to establish rhythms that work for us as well.
Yeah. That's so great. And, it looks so amazing in here, and the energy is flowing in here. It's pretty cool. So I invite all of you to come and visit.
Peek through the window.
Yeah.
We got a window here. We're doing our podcast, and we got people like banging down the window, and
it's so
I love it.
cool.
I love that energy.
Yeah, it's so great. But also, what excites you most about the new space? Like, what are you most looking forward to?
New space is the new space. It's the fact that new means opportunity. And there's opportunity here, not only in this new office in the HQ with podcasting, because I'm excited to take the podcast to another level. And that podcast is determined by, number one, the value that we create for you, but also that you can please share with the world as well. So if you're enjoying it, please share it. But the other thing too, beside the podcast, when we did all this space, it wasn't just about the podcast. One of the things that I'm going to be spending more time on in the upcoming months and years is live events. Live events.
So excited
I'm literally
for
looking
live
through the window
events.
as I record this at what used to be the Pilates area, which will be our, quote, live events and media center. Live events meaning, heck, in a few weeks from now as we record this, we're going to have our mastermind group come in May and in June. I'm going to have another event this summer. Like, we've got more live events here at Fitness Quest 10, not just for trainers and coaches, but also for just high performers or moms or dads that are looking to get new rhythms back in their life on what can I do to immerse in a 5-day immersion in high performance so I can live the vision and live the dream of my life and do what I'm destined to be. Because sometimes you need to not only snap your band, but you do have to immerse yourself in a world-class environment and think and dream and do the things that you want to do again. I want to create that here at the HQ in a live event where from sun up to sundown, we actually can manifest and up on the whiteboard with a small group of people, put down one's dreams and visions and put together a strategic plan to start taking steps on enough's enough. Now is the time. One of the reasons why I did this is, why wait? What am I going to do? Wait till another 5 years, 10 years, or another pandemic? No, now's the time to make those steps. So what most excites me about the new space beside the podcasting is cool. We reach a lot of people with the podcast. But what's really going to be cool is when people start showing up for these live events, and some of them are only going to have 5 people in them. Some are going to have 20. And then if we get back to larger events here later on this fall or 2022, we have larger events with hundreds and thousands of people, then that'll be a different experience. But right now, it's like, hey, if you want to change your life, you want to change your vision on that, we've got the ability now, based on the vision that I have and that we have, and here that this space is now going to create and manifest, to help people take them from where they are now to live the life that they're dreaming about tomorrow.
Ooh, I love live events. I love it too. I love helping people. I love making people happy. I love catering to people. So bring it on. I love it. I'm excited.
I'm
excited. So earlier you were talking about that you don't always wake up happy. So when you don't wake up happy, how do you get your mojo back?
I don't know if it's happy. I don't know if the word is happy. I just don't wake up like springing out of bed, like ready to do my workout and ready to conquer the day. I think overall, there's a sense of peace and that it's not like wake up and I'm not joyful, but I think the mojo you're talking about is energy. And the mojo, it's like when you wake up, many times if it's early in the morning, especially before the sun comes up, you just don't feel alert and excited and energized yet. That has to be created and manifested. Now, one of the things that happened during the pandemic was there were times when I didn't know if I was happy or where am I going to find this energy, because I'm exhausted, like to the point of being burnt out, exhausted and tired. And when you're in physical pain, if you've ever been in physical pain takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy out of you. So when I was battling with all the pain from my knee, there was a big energy expenditure. And then when you're trying to save the world, literally, there's a big energy expenditure. So when you ask, like, what do you need to do to get your mojo back? What I've realized is, and I've always shared this, and I've always done a pretty good job, but it's more prevalent now than ever before. Number one is my quiet time, faith time, prayer time. That has to happen. There's been days where I've slipped and I've gotten out of my routine and I'm not good. I'm not leaning on the strength that I need to be leaning on. I'm leaning on my own strength, and that's gonna fall quick. Also, mellow yellow time and vacation time. I need more time off now than ever before, because my energy output is way more than I've ever given in my entire life. I'm feeling that I need more back in my life. And I get that when I'm taking time away. And no longer do I feel guilty when I'm doing it. I'm just planning a lot more time off, because that's when I'm getting my mojo back. That's when I'm getting my thoughts and my dreams and visions. So when I come and do something, especially like a live event or podcast episodes, that's where I get my ideas on what I'm going to create. So I think that's important. And lastly, to get the mojo back, and maybe you guys are struggling, and it happens to all of us, where there are days or even weeks that you're just like, man, I am down, or I'm not feeling it, is just remember your core values. When I say remember who you are, your core values are like, what is it that makes you who you are? What is it that makes up you? What are your core values? And it's not what are your core values at work and what are your personal core values. No. Your core values are your core values. Like at work and at home, they need to be synonymous, congruent. They need to be the same thing. So what are those? And you cannot deviate from your core values, because if you do, you will be shot. You will be tired and exhausted all the time, because you're living lives that are not congruent. So by identifying them, putting them in your journal, and making sure that everything you do, whether it's perseverance, hard work, honesty, trustworthy, integrity, whatever those core values are to you, that you've got to make sure you live them, read them, recite them, share them, and do everything you can. Because when you're living those core values, all of a sudden what's going on is you're attracting people like that, and you can get your mojo back by living the life that you know that you're deserving to live.
Yeah, that's such great advice. I mean, there's so many people I think that are kind of going through that and hopefully rebounding now, but I know that it's been a tough year for a lot of people, and you've given so much, and your lessons and your advice there is amazing.
The other thing, mojo, I better say this because we all know it, but let me remind everyone, working out.
Yeah.
Like there's days where I do not feel like working out. Anyone else? Can I get an amen? Like I know some of you are working out right now. Some of you are working out right now. But like there are days when you just don't feel like working out, and maybe there are days that you don't work out or you shouldn't work out. That's cool. But when you're feeling down, when you're feeling blue, when you're feeling depressed, you cognitively know, man, I need to work out and get my mind right. But you just don't because you're like, nope, I feel too bad. Those are the days you need to move. And when I say move, it could be go out and trudge around in a nature trail or go to the beach, take your shoes off and get the sand between your toes and go for a nice slow walk, or go out and sit in nature and listen to the birds chirp. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? God is good. God is good. I am grateful for the fact that I could be out here doing these things. And if you got physical pain, you got mental stuff, whatever it is, it's like one of the ways to get the mojo back is get out in nature and move your body. Because like once again, motion is lotion, movement is medicine, movement is medicine, motion is lotion. There's nothing more powerful than all of the hormones and chemicals that get released in your body when you move. So between breathwork, meditation, prayer, and movement, these alone will get the mojo back.
Nice. Okay. I have one final question for you. It's pretty deep.
All right.
A lot of people this past year have lost a lot of things. Some their businesses, some even family members. But what advice would you give to yourself if you lost everything? Your business, Fitness Quest 10, Todd Durkin Enterprises, and you had to start over?
Well, what you just listed out are things.
Yeah.
You didn't list out that I lost my family or I lost my life.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if I've got my life and I've got my family, then I've got everything I need to repair and rebuild, because we get attached to things. We get attached to Fitness Quest 10. See, my identity and my ego gets attached to Fitness Quest 10 or TDE or this podcast. That's wrong. That'd be wrong to put my worth in anything that gives me a monetary value. And although it's natural to do that, at the end of the day, as long as the people and the quality of the relationships in your life are working, that's what it's all about. And you could argue, yeah, but if you lose TDE or Fitness Quest 10 or this or that, then the quality of your relationships will be broken. Oh, will they? Well, if you're putting your self-worth in your worth, your net worth, then you're wrong, right? That's not where you do it. But the human way, if you've ever read Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I love Wayne Dyer, you don't put your value in things with a monetary value. You put your value in human spirit and kindred souls and the power of a connection, of a relationship. So if you would ask me, what advice would I give to myself if you lost everything, had to start over? Yeah, I'm like any other human being. It would be tough. But when I would actually dissociate myself from the fact that who I am as a spirit is not Fitness Quest 10 or it's not TDE. My spirit is where I'm at. So if I was in North Carolina, New Jersey, the Midwest, my spirit is there and who I'm giving to. As my spirit comes through these airwaves right now, they're in your head, you're in your heart and in your soul. So remember this, is that regardless of what you do is what you do, hopefully your spirit is coming through what you do. But don't get caught up in the fact that it's a title or it's an accolade or an achievement or a certain letter after your name because you have your MA or your MD or your CSCS or your ND or whatever other different alphabet soups come after your name. That doesn't make you any more of a human being than somebody else. What makes you more of a human being is the human being of who you are as a person. So when you say if you lost everything, there have been people, and there are people listening to this right now who've lost family members or friends in the last year from either disease or from COVID-19 or heart disease, stroke, diabetes, accidents, suicides. Like, these things are real. To me, that's when you really do your soul searching and you say, you know what? I'm going to get through this. I'm going to really dig down deep. And as long as I've got my life, then I've got hope, and I'm going to get vertical. And as long as that sun's coming up, there is another day, because as Dr. Rick Rigsby says, and I've been reminded this every day, is as long as that sun's coming up the next day, there's a sign of life. And as long as there's a sign of life, then I've got my purpose to live.
Dang. You really brought the heat. Thank you so much for allowing me to ask you these questions today and being on the show. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, I think based on the feedback that we're getting from our people, they're enjoying having you on the show.
Yes.
They're enjoying hearing another voice. So thank you, Julie. As always, thank
fun.
you. I enjoy these discussions as well. My hope is with the Impact Show, and again, I don't know if you've listened, if this is your first episode you're listening to or your 100th episode that you're listening to, but the whole purpose for us with the Impact Show is to deliver impact. It's to allow you to think, to dream, to dare, to act, and to remember who you are and why you do what you do. So I want to say thank you for listening in today. And if you're a mom or you're a dad, thank you for what you do. If you're a son or your daughter, thank you for what you do. If you're a grandma, grandpa, thank you for what you do. The bottom line is this: you have an opportunity today to make a difference in other people's lives. And if we're always thinking about, man, woe is me, what am I going to do today, what am I going to do today, and you're feeling sorry for yourself, there's a really easy way to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Go find someone else with bigger problems than you, because there are people right all around you with bigger problems than you. Go down to Rady's Children's Hospital, go down to the cancer ward, go down to places where people are really struggling, and then you're quickly reminded of how fragile life is. So thank you for listening in. Remember why you do what you do, and go out there today and make the world a better place to be.